By the way, opportunities for jobs, in my opinion, is not an idea of a benefit. That's not good enough for us. One last point that I would like to make, that it seemed from the tone this morning that everybody's ganging up on poor Uncle Sam. They say the U.S. has not developed policy and regulation that allows development to proceed. It's too slow, ineffective. What's new about that? I don't agree with this characterization up to a point. As I mentioned earlier, there are several initiatives that have been conducted by the government, the federal government, that are setting the ground rules, the framework for developing Arctic policy, and I will use the word comprehensive Arctic policy. Any policy that's developed in the Arctic must be comprehensive. It must be holistic. It must have a social piece. It must have a cultural piece. It must have a definitely an environmental piece. And then there's the business activity. All of these three things must intersect in some perfect way of doing development. If they don't, then the environment, the Arctic environment, for those of us that live up there, we know this, there's very little chance to recover if you've made a big mistake. There's very little chance. It's a very unforgiving place, even with the ice going away. So if these three areas, the social / cultural, the environment, and the economic interest can't intersect somehow and cooperate together, it doesn't make sense as far as I'm concerned to develop anything up there. As the frontline people living right there on the water, we're the ones that are taking the risk for your activities. We're not prepared to let that happen. The risk must be taken a closer look at. I'm sure some of you out there are aware of some recent calls for caution from the business community, particularly in the area of risk assessment and insuring and paying for a mishap. We in the ICC, together with the government of Greenland, have been pushing the notion of an international spill contingency fund. We're not sure there's enough money out there to clean up an oil spill if there's a big oil spill. We think this is something that needs to be considered, and we will keep promoting that. We have been promoting it. We haven't gotten much traction. We did try to put it in the Arctic Council Oil Spill Task Force. We didn't make it, but we keep trying. Comprehensive, with the government and the environmental community and industry get together and figure out a way forward together, then development will happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks. Lots there to chew on when we get to come back with questions. Daly, I'd love to ask you if you could just pick up on the same question, although I'm very anxious to get to the question of the UN Declaration, but we'll come to that next.
Okay.